CQ, and welcome back to the 599 Signal Report. I am your host, Ron, W2ELS. In our last episode, we talked about getting on the air and hunting POTA station, also called Parks in the Air. Today, we're going to talk about tips, etiquette, best practice, and advice for POTA hunting. As a POTA hunter, I've had the pleasure of working some truly excellent CW activators over the past year. And one who I've worked over 30 times is Jim, WBØRLJ. He is a phenomenal activator, often operating exclusively CW, and he's compiled some of the best advice for us POTA hunters right on his QRZ page. We're going right to the source and sharing his knowledge on how to be the best CW POTA hunter that you can be. When you find activators like WB0RLJ on the POTA spots page, your first instinct is to jump in. But Jim's first piece of advice is simple. Listen first. When you tune in, take a moment to listen to how the activator is handling the other hunters. Get a feel for the flow of the QSO exchange. Are they moving quickly? Are they patient? This helps you anticipate your turn and keeps things running smoothly. Crucially, don't send your call sign until you're sure the activator is listening for the next station. If the frequency goes silent, the activator is likely logging the previous contact. Wait until you hear them send QRZ or CQ before transmitting. Now let's talk about the dreaded blob. You know, the pileup. A whole crowd of hunters calling the activator all at one time. You have to stand out, Jim emphasizes. Do not zero beat the activator. Zero beat means transmitting on the exact same frequency as the activator, and it makes your signal disappear into that unreadable blob of noise. Instead, use your RID's transmit incremental tuner, or XIT. You want to transmit 50 to 100 Hz above or below the activator's frequency. This offsets your signal just enough so they can easily pick you out of the crowd. Look for the CLAR TX button on a Yaesu rig or the Delta TX button on an ICOM rig and use it to be heard. Once Jim has pulled your call sign out of the pileup, the QSO itself is fast and standardized. The goal is efficiency. So Jim recommends simplifying your transmissions. No K after your call sign. In POTA or contest exchange, the letter K is typically not used after your call sign. It can cause confusion or can be mistaken as part of your call. Instead, use BK when turning over the exchange during the QSO. Remember, BK is not a pro sign, so there's slight space between the B and the K. Skip the full DE exchange. It's not necessary. To send the activator, call sign, then DE, followed by your call sign at every single turnover, as you would in a long rag chew. Keep it tight. Responding to a partial call sign. This is a big one, Jim says. A partial call sign followed by a question mark, for example, W2 question mark. That means he's asking for a repeat only. Respond with your full call sign if the letter he sends are actually your call sign, of course. Don't assume he's trying to call you with a bunch of errors. If you do respond, send your full call sign, not just the letters you think he's missing. Jim says he's usually pretty sure of the character he sends, and he's expecting your full call sign to confirm it. Following these simple rules helps the activator move quickly and log more contacts, which is a win for everyone. So, to summarize Jim's excellent advice for POTA CW hunting, listen first to the flow, use the XIT to avoid the dreaded blob, and keep your exchange clean by skipping the unnecessary K and DE. I want to give a big thank you to Jim, WBØRLJ, for sharing these essential tips with the CW community. Knowing this etiquette is what separates a great hunter from someone who just causes QRM. Next time on the podcast, we're flipping the key around. We'll be discussing how to become a POTA activator and taking our portable gear out in the field and calling CQ POTA. Thanks for joining me here in the shack on the 599 Signal Report. Until next time, this is Ron, W2ELS, signing off. 73